What's going on, Wisdom? How are we today? It's Friday night for me right now. It's about 9:33 p.m. And I thought I'd give a short. I enjoy doing these solo episodes on Wisdom, which is pretty cool. Had a great day today. Had a great breakfast this morning, and yeah, just woke up, feeling great. The breath work's going fantastic. The binaural beats are helping too. If you listen to binaural beats with your headphones, guys, it really helps. It's such a blessing. It's good for your brain and any brainwave states like alpha, theta, beta, and delta brainwaves that you want to get into that. That was awesome. That was fantastic for me. Keeping the mind healthy. Yeah, so, podcasting has become a huge worldwide industry now. I think started back in 2009 or something, and it just wasn't as big back then. I still listen to the Dan Carlin show. I think I like Hardcore History is a great podcast to listen to. It's almost like an audiobook. It's really good, really great stuff. History. If you listen to any of the old episodes, it's just fantastic to hopefully learn, a lot about history and politics. I think he's got some great work. He does great work. I try to get myself, inspired to listen to other people's shows out there. I think when you have conversation skills that matter, when you're hosting a podcast, I mean, the beauty about, these audio apps is, Wisdom lets me record it, and I can then, I publish the episodes to my podcast, distributor, and it's really great, and if people have missed the live show, they can, listen to the replay on their podcast app, or even on Wisdom too, which is pretty great, awesome, and fantastic for content creators, and more one-to-one, that I can talk to people one-to-one as well. So, I think podcasting just comes down to the word consistency and persistence. At the end of the day, is what helps with podcasting. And just showing up at the same time as well. Now I'm talking to you, everyone, just on this audio app right now, and this is amazing. Literally, I mean, we're so blessed now to have apps, audio apps of each their own, you know. There's so much. I think it started out with Discord. You could chat audio with friends. There's so many audio apps out there. They're all competing with one another. I mean, like I say this to everyone, or to all my listeners. Go where your audience is. You know, with you know, if you're going to podcast on an app, or if you're streaming, like I will live stream on Twitch just to get my miles up as well when I can. I don't mind live streaming. It's fine to get used to it, but you know, if you have a bandwidth and your internet can, you know, what do they call it, multicast out to multiple platforms at once, then it's so much more easier. But the best advice that was given to me was just focus on one platform at a time and then work from there. You know, you can follow me on Webtalk as well. I'm very active on Webtalk, and that's the beauty about Webtalk. It's great for podcasters and content creators to promote their businesses on Webtalk. I put the links in the podcast description as well. And yeah, the revenue share the company is giving back is an amazing blessing, especially for you know, people, you know, starting out their journey. And you know, when you starting out, you start with nothing, and that's normal. And when you find your audience on a platform, it's really great. It's awesome. It's yeah, it's one of the best. One of the best things to do. It's like you know, you get many of the great podcasters out there. You know, they had episodes that were disasters, and they just kept on going. You know, and I'm just literally just lying in my bed right now, and I'm just doing a podcast on my iPhone. That is so cool. But you know, it's you know, don't be afraid to ask for help if you can, because there is help out there, and keep networking with each other. You know that. Keep on networking, and yeah, you just keep going too. You know, just keep going. But I want to know what your thoughts are on podcasting, and if there's anyone listening in. Yeah, welcome to hear your opinion about podcasting and where it's all starting and where it will be going in the future. You know, I mean, it's so good that we have Zoom, we have Skype, we have, you know, I mainly use Zoom. I like Zoom better because Zoom has much better audio quality than Skype does. Skype, I've always find just crashes a lot for some reason. I like Zoom better. It's much more professional for podcasters out there who are just starting out, and it's more professional too when you do things via Zoom instead of Skype. But that's just my opinion on the tools that I use. I just think, yeah, keep persisting with it, with what you want with your podcast as well, guys. I'm only just doing a little short talk today. I just felt like giving you some inspiration to, that's all you can do is just, keep going. Keep on going, keep persisting, and keep at it. And that's it. The saying, practice makes perfect. If anything, that 10,000 hours of practice is usually the best. Because when it's those 10,000 hours of practice that you put in to master your craft and to master your work, whatever you do, and you've put all that effort in it really, it pays off eventually. Eventually it pays off, guys, But, we've seen a lot of things with media now. Has become a thing where they don't like certain things that you say, they tell you to take it down as well. And it can hurt too, when you put all that effort in and you're told, okay, you need to take it down, the episode needs to be taken down. Has anyone gone through that as a podcaster? Sure, we all have, but we just get up and we move on. That's all we can do. We just get up and we move on and we keep going. I've always think of discipline when you're publishing your next episode, and you you just keep you keep showing up, whatever day you upload, and you just keep going, and that's all you can do. you try your best to make every episode as better as you can, and that's all I can encourage you guys to do is just keep going, and don't let other people's opinions tell you that no, you've got to be in. Your show is too broad, or it's too this, it's too that. Oh, you got to speak like this. I think the beauty about podcasting is, I can use the word fuck. I can, swear. I mean, when you're live on a radio network or television network, obviously you can't use the F word because then, the media or whoever you're with, they can get fined thousands of dollars. So that's the beauty of podcasting. And it's really helped my social skills as well. It's helped me with self-confidence, communication as well, because communication is key in life. And it's helped me. It's helped me in, keep people learning and just keep them going. The reason why I'm talking about breath work lately, because it's really helped me calm down too, and especially I get it when you're starting out your journey. Podcasting is it is very scary, and I understand it is scary, very scary for me too. But I think the more you do, the better you're gonna get. But I just think just create create amazing content as much as you can. And I'd say just keep going. And look for your inspiration, and I mean, I've listened to a lot of shows out there, and everyone has their own style. Everyone communicates differently as well. But communication is the best solution to any podcast out there. And that's all it is. And all you can do is just keep open-ended questions, because open-ended questions is the way to keep a conversation going, even in you know, when you're not hosting a podcast. It's you know, when you have you could have some guests who, you know, and not everyone's very talkative. People are shy, and you get to learn about personalities. I've learned so much, you know, psychology as well, body language. You get to pick up on all these, how people are feeling, if people are shy or people are in a talkative mood. This is human nature, I guess. Human nature. There was I don't know if you've heard of that Alex Jones from that InfoWars. God, I can't fucking stand that bloke. Oh my god. Just the shit that comes out of his mouth is horrible. No wonder why Twitter and YouTube and I don't know social media's banned him for life. So, oh my god, thank God for that. I mean, you do get some shows where as soon as you stick a microphone in front of someone, they think they're a god and they can rule over everyone with their opinions. The stuff he says, it's just offensive. Very offensive. I'm talking the one from InfoWars. He's been on Joe Rogan's podcast. I can't stand that guy. Ugh. You know. It's like, all these conspiracy theories, right? I don't know. You know, if all you're going to talk about and go on about is conspiracy theories and the world's and going on all this and the world's of that. I don't know. Oh God. I mean, that's the thing, you know. It's I mean, each to their own. But conspiracy theories are not proven. And I'm telling you, they aren't proven at all. But, you know, if listening to someone like that is going to make you feel like shit, then switch it off. Because I was listening to, started listening to an episode by Alex Jones from InfoWars, and I was just like, fuck this, I'm switching this off. This is just, you don't want to start your day with that. I want to listen to inspiring podcasts like the Stephen Shields radio show. But, you know, there's quite the Howard Stern shows. That's pretty good. He's short and sweet. Joe Rogan's good, but Joe Rogan just goes on for too long. He just goes on for 3 hours, and it's too much. Takes up too much of your day. I like JRE clips better. But, and people are welcome on the stage with me right now, if they'd like. Talking about podcasting and will it, can you make a living out of podcasting full time? Is it possible? I mean, many content creators should, earn a full time living out of doing what they love, creating content. I believe musicians should be paid a decent paycheck as well as podcasters with monetization. I think too, finding the right sponsors for your show is key. Finding the right, if you're affiliate marketing as well, finding the right product to sell is something else you want to work on. Does this product suit my show? So those things you've got to look into and take into consideration as well. Is what I'm selling going to, help my customers long term? That's another question you got to think is, I can be an affiliate from Amazon, but so you get to learn all these things when you when you're starting out. I think selling the wrong products to your target audience can make it very confusing and very odd. Like, you know what I mean. You get it. But that's how it is. I mean, and I suppose if you're going to put advertisements in your show, I think the mistake a lot of big podcasters make is they just put too many ads in, or they'll be in the middle of a phrase of a conversation and boom, an ad just comes up. Whenever I put advertising in my shows, I do it right at the beginning before I put my entrance music. I do it right at the start. I say my advertisement, and then I do it at the end of the show, and then I'll play the ending music. It's just so much more better like that. You can do what's called a mid-roll if there's like a pause or something, or you've finished a sentence. You can add a mid-roll or a mid-advertisement to the conversation. I think, I've learned this from trial and error myself too. It's trial and error, and that's all it is. That's all it is. You get to learn all this stuff with advertising. I want to know your experience with monetization and advertising in podcasting. If you'd like to share the stage with me on the Stephen Shields radio show, we've got about another 20 minutes left before I'll call it a night. Just a short show today, and that's fine. But yeah, it's all you can do is, I mean, there's types of monetization where they take a commission out of your out of your payment. They could take 10%. Or there's sponsors out there who, you have to manually pitch to them and show all your statistics. So those are other ways, or if someone sends you some equipment in the mail, that's another way of sponsorship as well. You want to do, I mean, the thing is with sponsors, they want to see that you've built your following up and your fan base, because your fans come first. Your audience will always come first. In my opinion, without your audience, you don't really have a podcast. Then, if you're trying to do affiliate marketing and you don't have many listeners, then it's like you're selling to no one. I've been there too, done that, and it's best to learn all this stuff. When you're starting out, and you learn, okay, if affiliate marketing didn't work in the beginning, who knows when the show, gets more downloads. I've just hit the 1,000 download mark on Anchor podcasts, because Anchor's a really great app. I've just hit 1,000 downloads, and it's a great little celebration to see that. And this is all done organically. This is, I'm not using any paid advertising to break the algorithm, and I have done all my marketing just by word of mouth, and long term it's going to be much better for me than short term, because paid advertising is very expensive, and you rather put that money into your equipment, upgrading it with whatever you're going to use. Also, too, equipment is a personal decision. For me, myself, I just believe in keeping it very basic. Yeah, keeping it basic, and just keeping it basic and simple is all you can do. Is keep it basic and simple. I just think, when you have your purpose for your show, and you can just, talk on the microphone, it's amazing. And yeah, that's what I love about the podcast as well, because it's really helped me a lot make new connections with people as well. and get to know myself too. So that's the thing. It's I think it is growing as I think it is going to be a worldwide industry soon. So many podcasting apps, whether you're using Spotify or Anchor or Apple Podcasts, Stitcher. I think if you can just distribute to as many platforms as you can, it's much better for you in the long run, rather than relying on one platform. And, it's yeah. I think the more you do, the better you get. Is another one. The more the more episodes you publish and listen to, it's so much better. It's better for you. It's better for your fans, because then they can see, okay, you're loyal with your show. And that's the beauty about it, about finding your platform and finding where your audience is. It takes time, persistence, dedication, but all I can just say is, just keep going and hang in there. Trial and error, practice makes perfect. You can see we got 22 amazing guests in this audience listening to the Stephen Shields radio show. If anyone would like to come on stage and talk with me, this would be an excellent opportunity to ask me questions about podcasting and what if you're planning to start a show, or if you've been procrastinating and putting it off. And then we do that. We're we're humans as well. Sometimes the procrastination is stopping us from success, from going after what you want to achieve in life. So just get out there and just do it. Just get on that microphone or your iPhone app. I know the iPhone and Android have very good quality now, audio, than they used to. So they've improved a lot, and just get out there and record. If you're looking at editing, I just use GarageBand, or if you're on a PC, you can use Audacity, and that's fine. That is absolutely fine. And, it's just, keep on going, keep on going, keep on going, keep on going, keep on going. That's all it is. Just keep on going. And it's a blessing, and it's very rewarding when, I interview someone, and I love it. You get to learn people's personality types as well from a psychological point of view. You get to learn how people, think differently if they have a different political opinion to you. I know I admit I'm on the right. I'm right wing with politics, but the thing about the Stephen Shields radio shows, I get the left on my show at the same time, and I like that. I'm not a one dominated show like an Alex Jones, where everything with Alex Jones from Infowars.com is just all right wing conspiracy theories. Remember, conspiracy theories are not a proven fact. And just hearing, oh my god, I just want to switch that Alex Jones off. I just switch it off. But also too, you get, sometimes we can't get along with everyone. You're not going to get along with all your guests, and that's fine. You just try to keep the conversation going as best as you can. And it takes skill, it takes work, it takes practice. See, you can't control other people if they're not in a talkative mood. I don't push it. I don't want to get. You don't want to piss people off. Never, 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 ever, ever. Do not ever piss your audience or your guests off, because there have been journalists, especially on 60 Minutes, I can't stand that show, who have pissed celebrities off. Do not do that at all. Because if you piss your guests off, they're going to go and tell people, and you don't want a bad reputation as a podcaster. You want to enjoy it, talking to people and keeping a conversation going, because I see it as a form of socializing too, and promotion. When you get shows like I think it was Q&A. I think that was on the ABC in Australia, but that was just so opinionated. It was just like I'm right and you're wrong sort of thing. And I choose to, when you get any podcasts that are just opinionated and just want to be one side dominant, I just switch it off. I ain't got time for that shit. And it's just, finding the your style is takes time. I don't look. Obviously my show, the Stephen Shields radio show, is very guest based. So for me, it's harder to be talking on my own. I'm trying my best to keep everyone engaged here as well, and that's all you can do. And I can see we've got a guest joining in right now. Just let you on. Three, two, one. Hello.
Hello, hello. How you going?
Yeah, good. How are you? Is your name Seth?
That is correct.
Welcome to the Stephen Shields radio show.
Oh, thanks for letting me up. I was just listening to you for a little bit, and I thought you seemed like an interesting person to have a conversation with. So I
Yeah,
wanted to
thank
jump
you.
in there.
Yeah, thanks for coming on because I'm trying to get people to jump on with me. I'm not sure if they're shy or something, but this is awesome. Are you podcasting?
Currently, I use mostly Stereo app.
Mm-hmm.
Stereo app. I do some Clubhouse, and I'm just now dipping my toes into Wisdom.
Good on you.
But yeah, I like the. You do have an option to speak solo on Stereo now, but I prefer to have conversations with people.
Yeah, I was going to ask because there are some shows where it's all solo, and some people are very good talking solo. How do you find if you're talking solo versus just having a conversation on your show?
I have done two or three solo for a while. It's not the intent to stay solo. It's just the concept of not being able to find somebody for a
Mm,
while. So I just say, "Hey, I want to get my words out." I'll just go. Uh, I'll do it live. I'll do it on my own.
yeah,
But
yeah,
you're in Australia, right? So
yeah. Sydney, Australia, all the way in
what you said?
Sydney. Yeah,
Oh, it
yeah.
sounds lovely.
Where are you from, Seth?
I'm in the Lone Star State, the great state of Texas. No big deal.
Nice. It must be morning for you.
Yes, it is almost 6:30 a.m.
So you're an early morning person by the sounds of it.
Well, of course, I have to wake up at 5 a.m. so I can drive my hour and a half to work,
Hmm.
and so yeah, I'm awake in the morning. I'm listening to people in the morning most of the time, and every now and again I want to jump in and have a conversation.
No, and that's good.
But
What
over
are you doing? What are you doing for work?
I do inspections, so I'm a quality control manager for a general contractor building hospitals and um, sports facilities and things like that.
Would you say, do you love your job or are you looking to make a career as an entrepreneur on the side?
I need to make some sort of passive income right now with potential mandates and things like that are surrounding COVID. It
Mm,
doesn't make sense to have all your eggs in one basket. You have to have
mm,
something that you cannot be fired from. Would be
mm.
great.
Yeah, that's the thing. The job market too in Australia is gone to shit as well. You can't rely on a job anymore, Seth.
I I 100% agree.
You
But I hear
know,
in Australia you're having a harder time of it with the government being more authoritarian than most places.
yeah, like we have to show our vaccine passes just to sit for a coffee. It is a bit of a police state in Sydney. It's not all states of Australia. But as soon as we get, say, I don't know, 20 cases of COVID, they want to put us in a lockdown.
Right.
And now I'm sure that's nothing for you in the States, but we had a second lockdown in Sydney and just got out with the Delta variant. So who
Right.
knows where we will be?
I heard that the truckers union was planning to go on strike or something like that in Australia, but I
Yeah,
don't know whatever came of it.
when they went in lockdown, the construction industry went on strike and were protesting
Right.
because the government stood them down, meaning they couldn't work.
Did they get unemployment or something like that to supplement their income?
Yeah, they were getting something called, when the pandemic first came, they were getting a JobKeeper package, but that's run out. And that was only like, I think like 1,500 a fortnight or something. That's run out, Seth.
Right.
You know, what about in the US? Was the government giving you guys any money?
there was unemployment benefits if you were laid off from work, and
Yeah.
then there was unemployment benefits if you were just not working. Not necessarily you got laid off. Like so, people like some people who weren't working prior to the pandemic, who were no longer eligible for unemployment benefits because they ran out their time. Once
Mm.
the pandemic happened, then they were re-eligible for benefits because they could say, "Well, I was going to get a job, but I couldn't get one because no one was hiring because of the pandemic."
Mm.
So the odd thing about it was many people were making more money on unemployment than they were making when they were working. So they
Mm.
didn't have an incentive to go back to work or try to find work.
Mm.
But,
Because I know with you guys in the States, your paycheck has to pay your health insurance, does it?
that's correct.
How much gets taken out to pay your health fund?
Well, it's hard to say because different plans charge different rates.
Mhm.
But I would say out of my paycheck, so I'm getting paid like bi-weekly, and my paycheck, I think it's around like $90.
Yeah.
I'd have to look at it. I haven't looked at it in a long time, but I think it's like $90 for every 2 weeks. So,
Mm.
it's not nothing, but it's not, going to break the bank either.
Mm.
And it is beneficial because my wife is on my insurance, and this in February, she was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Mm.
And if you didn't know, breast cancer and everything surrounding it is very expensive.
Mm.
So
Mm.
my deductible was altogether around $6,000.
Did you have to
But
pay deductible
yeah,
out of your pocket or
yeah,
the insurance?
right. The deductible comes out of my pocket on my end, but everything that goes beyond my deductible is paid 100% by the insurance company. So a treatment that she's been on that's around like $75,000, I'm paying 6,000 of that.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah, it's expensive because I mean a lot of people don't have $6,000 just laying around that think, oh, I can throw at this, but um, it's expensive. But then again, the treatment uh, is a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
You know,
See, in
and
Australia, we have Medicare, so our tax when we get taxed, it funds Medicare, so the government pays for our healthcare. But it is slow. It's not the
oh yeah.
best. Yeah, you know. But that's what it is. I mean, 6 grand out of your pocket. Jeez. And what happens if you can't pay it? Does that happen?
Well, they typically would just do it anyway, and you had to pay on like an installment, like you're in like medical debt, but
Yeah.
it doesn't mean they won't do the procedure.
Mm.
Certain things that they would elect maybe not to do were like cosmetic things. So if
Mm.
like you had breast cancer and they had removed cancer, you wouldn't necessarily have them pay to do breast reconstruction. So you'd have like
Mm.
odd, oddly shaped breasts. Like, oh well, we took care of the part that was life threatening, but the part that's cosmetic, no. I mean, if you don't have the insurance to pay for that, then we're not going to do it because
Mm.
probably not going to get our money.
Yeah.
So, so all life-threatening illnesses and things like that will be taken care of. It just means you have to pay off over time.
Yeah. That's scary. Do you want to come back on
Yeah.
stage when the time is out?
Well, sure. If you got more questions, I'm sure I have. I mean,
Yeah, this is
Australia is
good.
such an interesting place, in my opinion. I'd love to go there someday.
You never know. Yeah. That's yeah, mate. I mean, that's healthcare stuff. It can be complicated, very complicated.
But I'm glad that it exists. I'm glad that
Exactly.
it's there. I mean, it's kind of a racket sometimes, but sometimes it's saves your
Mm.
ass.
Yeah.
and this time it's paying off.
Exactly. All right, yeah, Seth, if you'd like to come back on stage, feel free to do that. That was interesting. That was a great conversation with Seth. Get Seth waiting here. Yeah, yeah. So that's what we're finding in our current times as well. Yeah, so that's what it is. I mean, it's. I mean, I think the U.S. health system needs to have Medicare, Seth.
We do have Medicare and Medicaid, but it's not for everyone. You have to qualify for it.
Oh, okay. And pharmaceuticals are so expensive too. In the
Oh, you are not joking. I don't know what's going on with that. I remember when Trump was president, that was the first time that I'd ever heard how the United States is paying several times more on their pharmaceuticals than anywhere else. And I thought, why? Wait, what? Why?
mm-hmm,
Why are we paying more? That
mm-hmm,
makes no sense. I guess because we can, so we should, right? I mean, what is that supposed to like? What does that mean? Why
mm,
is there a pill that costs $30 over here that costs like $8 everywhere else?
mm.
What the hell?
Yeah, that's a rip off. The pharmaceutical companies are just ripping off people.
I don't get it. I mean, maybe they should assume. I don't know how that's like tied into insurance and how things are paid out, but I do know that not every drug has a generic version. So some of them you are just forced to pay the higher price.
Mm.
But in Australia, you said that the medical is slow, but
Yeah.
it's like, so what does that mean? Like if you found out you had a lump for cancer per se, and you said, okay, I need to have this thing taken out, they wouldn't have you scheduled to have a surgery in like 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh, they would if it's life threatening, but in my experience, it's a stuff around because you get to go on a waiting list, especially for a community dentist, right? You have to wait. They only put people who are life threatening, but just going to the emergency is like you're waiting for 4 hours, right? And a lot of them are medical students, which is fair enough. They've got to start somewhere, but you want someone who knows what they're doing, Seth.
That is right.
Is it like that in the US?
No, I mean there are medical students. So if you go to a place that is a medical college,
Yeah.
you typically can get work done for free because
Yeah.
you are training the medical students.
Uh huh.
But if you're saying, hey, that's not what I want, I could call a dentist and get an appointment tomorrow,
Yeah.
maybe same day if they have an opening.
Mhm.
And if they don't, there's probably some other dentist down the road that does.
Mhm.
But it's expensive. Dentistry is expensive for what they do. When you need a root canal and you're having severe dental pain, you really don't care about the cost. You care about the pain stopping. But
Mm.
I mean, I don't know if you've ever gone through that, but it's the worst. It is the worst. I've done it more than once, and I gotta say that it's worth it, but it's very expensive considering what they're actually doing.
How much does the dentist charge you for that for a root canal?
Well, so for a root canal and a crown that will cap your tooth
Mm.
is like 1,600.
Shit. That's expensive.
And most of that, it depends. So you can get like a cheaper crown, you can get a cheaper material like with a porcelain perhaps, but the root canal alone is like I think like 600.
Mm.
And then if you get like Novocaine and gas and you get a temporary crown fitted and then you have your permanent crown put in, altogether it's about 16.
Mm.
You can find them cheaper, but not a lot cheaper.
Mm. And your health insurance covers that. Is that correct?
No, health insurance does not cover any of that unless you have dental as part of your insurance plan, and a lot of people don't because
Hmm.
dental is one of those things that you just don't think about paying for constantly because you only think about paying for it whenever you need it.
Yeah, dentistry too in Australia is expensive, but not as overpriced. As I was saying about the community centre, when you go through the government, you're on a waiting list because the government pays for
Right.
it. But I don't know. Dentistry now has just become a business.
Oh, absolutely. Are there private practices though? So
Yeah.
if you decide, hey, I don't care, I'll pay a premium. Are there
Mm.
places you could go and just pay out of pocket?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
probably a checkup. I think in Australia is about 250 out of your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that is pricey, but then all the rest they're going to bill you for it.
Sure.
How much is a dental checkup in the States?
It's not that much actually. If you're just getting a checkup or a tooth cleaning, a teeth cleaning, um, it's not that much. I think it's maybe around like 120 or so
Mhm.
just for the checkup and a cleaning.
Yeah,
But if they have to do any work like a cavity or anything like that, then obviously it would increase.
yeah, shit.
Plus the checkup, they want people to come in and get checkups because
Mm,
that's how they tell you, hey, you're going to need work.
mm.
Come back and pay more money.
Oh, they do that here. I mean, I once had a dentist try to talk me into a root canal, but then I just said, I went to the government dentist. They said, no, just get it taken out. So I just
Right.
got the tooth taken out.
Yeah, you
That's
could get your tooth pulled if, and that's fine. But
mm,
but then you're either going to have a gap in your mouth or you're going to have to pay for an implant or a bridge or something along that lines, and then that's a hassle.
mm.
Um, anyway,
Yeah, but that's it's good to know what's going on. I mean, I've heard Canada has free healthcare apparently,
well, I mean, to say free,
taxpayer funded. Like,
right? It's like
yeah,
it's like actually free. It's free to no one. It's everyone pays for it all
mm,
the time.
mm,
And over here, before President Obama, you could choose to have no health insurance if you wanted to. So in
mm-hmm,
that sense, you literally weren't paying for anything.
mm-hmm,
But whenever Obamacare came out or the Affordable Care Act, it was everyone must purchase private insurance or insurance through their employer
mm-hmm,
or pay a fine, which I thought was pretty absurd. Because a
mm-hmm,
lot of young people say you get a young person working at McDonald's, young men who don't use medical services hardly at all till they're in their late 20s or 30s before they actually start like actually focusing on medical needs.
mm-hmm,
They're paying more than $750 fine in to purchase insurance they're not using,
mm,
or they could just pay a fine and be out of compliance and get no coverage and then just pay money. You shouldn't have to pay for something that you're not going to use or you don't want to use.
mm-hmm,
Um, Specifically, if you're someone who believes in like homeopathic or the kind of like the woo woo, like crystal healing stuff, those
mm-hmm,
people, and I'm not saying that I think that stuff works because I don't, but those people are being penalized basically for everyone else's sake. And I
mm-hmm,
don't believe that when it comes to health care needs, I don't
mm,
believe that we are our brother's keeper. I think people need to make their own decisions when it comes to their health and not have to worry about the society at large. Everyone should put health as a priority for their life and not
Mm.
rely on anyone else to do that for them, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's what's becoming about the police state as well, Seth. When the timer runs out, you can come back on stage if you want.
Sure.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'll wait for a second. If anyone else wants to jump up there, I'm happy to listen.
Hmm.
But if no one wants,
Yes, that was interesting about healthcare, and thanks for Seth. Come back on stage when you want to. No one's lining up. Yeah, as I was saying about Medicare, I think Medicare has been great for Australia, but technically, when you get taxed, you are paying for it. But that's how I've seen it going through the government hospitals, just been slow. You you find a lot of students just asking, what's your name? What happened? How did this happen? It gets very frustrating. And yeah. Yeah,
all
so,
right then.
since like Joe Biden's taken over now, uh,
Right.
how's
It's a good
things
way
in
to
the
put it.
United States?
Uh, in the trash bin.
Yeah.
Things are not great. Things have not got. Things haven't gotten any better. I'll
Hmm.
say that much. Um, it's hard for me to imagine or even think of a single thing that has improved.
Hmm.
Like nothing. So produce is up, gas prices are up, um, COVID is up,
Hmm.
political unrest is up,
Hmm.
um, unemployment is up.
Same in Australia.
Um, and it's not improving. And uh, arguments and anger over the educational system is up.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, like nothing's getting better.
Hmm.
I don't
You're
under.
you're in Texas, are you?
That's right.
Yeah. So you're seeing it from Texas. Nothing's improving in Texas.
Well, that's true. But when you watch like national news, it
Yeah.
seems to be a pretty reoccurring theme that people are unhappy with how things are going. Um, they even in like Democrat states, they're like, so we just had our midterm elections,
Hmm.
and Republicans won a lot of seats in the
Mm.
midterm election, but a lot of that's just because they're upset with how things are being managed right now. And even
Hmm.
the people who are hardcore Democrats have to admit, like, hey, some people are just not getting the job done. Like, this is not going well.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, same in Australia too, Seth. I mean, we got the right wing government. I'm a liberal supporter, but yeah, petrol's expensive too. Taxes, they're always taxing people for this. Our previous premier had to resign because of corruption. Yeah, I feel you too, man.
right. Trusting government in polling data. Trusting
Hmm.
government is at a very, very, very all time low. Um, and that's understandable. I mean, I
Mm.
get it. A bunch of people saying they're going to do something they're not going to do, and then
Mm.
a bunch of other people saying that they're going to stop something from happening that they are not going to stop.
Mm.
Um, so,
Yes, it's all over the world. In Australia too, I've noticed it. But I think by the sounds of it, Donald Trump is going to run for president again. I think next election.
well, I would say that Trump did a good job when it
Hmm.
comes to managing the
Hmm.
United States like a business.
Hmm.
Like, what's going to make business sense for the United States? What's going to make the United States successful,
Mm.
more people employed,
Mm.
cheaper, make better deals. And I think that was an important thing to have, just to show people that it could be done.
Mm.
But once he's out and we're going back to the bad policies, bad deals, you know, all that stuff, I think that's what's so frustrating. It's like Donald Trump was his own worst enemy,
Mm.
because it wasn't that he was always saying things that were wrong. He was just saying them in a very wrong way. As
Yeah.
he could make a logical point that people would flip out and freak out about, and it was because he made it in such a divisive sounding way that people just couldn't get past it. But I mean, those were simple-minded people. I would think people who focus too much on the personality of the president versus the policy are
Mm.
focused on the wrong thing.
Yeah, you got to be careful what you say to the media, Seth, because they can use it against you. You
Oh,
know, they can make
absolutely.
you look bad too. And he said so. He shouldn't. Yeah, he shouldn't have said stuff what he said. Joe he's old. I don't think he's going to last the full presidential term. I think who's going to replace him? Someone
Well,
else.
Kamala Harris would
Mm.
take that if something were to happen to him. Kamala
Mm.
Harris would take it.
Mm.
And I don't. I mean, she might be better. It's
Mm.
hard to imagine someone who would be worse. I mean, at least she puts sentences together and has her wits about her, I would say. But um, as far as policy goes, I don't think she would be any better. And it
Mm.
would be a
Mm.
shame for our first female president to be a disaster. That would not
Mm.
be that wouldn't be good.
No, I wouldn't. You know. Yeah, but this is all going on in politics in general. Yeah, they do lie, especially up at the top, cheat too. Veterans who come home, especially in Australia, are not treated very well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, veteran affairs just it's a nightmare. And it's
Yeah.
like then you think about the whole Iraq war, was it all for nothing too?
Well, it is now, isn't it?
Mm, it's pretty
That's what
sad.
it seems like.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
but,
was a big, huge money waste, time waste, and life waste.
mm,
And what was actually achieved, right? I mean,
nothing. I mean,
if
John
they're
John
going right
Howard.
back to the way they were,
I mean,
they,
John Howard, right wing was supporting it, and George Bush, I think, he was on the right, always supporting the war in Iraq. But yeah,
yeah, well,
not
the
good.
concept was that they would accept democratic processes and
Mm,
become a free state that then
hmm
could be traded with and reasoned with, and be brought into the like basically global stage.
hmm
And I mean, after generations and generations of being under a certain way, a certain fear of your life and government being like the way that it is over there, it's whenever there's no one enforcing it,
mm,
they go right back to what they've been doing for years, and that's
mm,
unfortunate. And I wonder if it's from fear. I don't know if it's from religious duty or what, but people had said from the very beginning that they didn't believe that certain areas in the Middle East wanted democracy.
hmm
It's like there are some places that want it that don't have it, and there are some places that just don't want it.
mm,
And I don't know if that's true, but I know that that's been talked about, for 20 years.
hmm
That they are not going to accept it. They don't want that form of government,
hmm
and apparently not.
Yeah, it's complicated.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know who would want a ruler or an emperor or a king or an imam or anybody who would just rule with unopposed force. I don't know who would want that. Like, even our president, he doesn't have unilateral power to do whatever he wants to do. He has limited powers. He has to have the Senate and Congress come together and agree. And even that, you're still like the Supreme Court that might jump in and say, nope, still not good enough. So all these different branches have to come together to make something actually move forward, which is why government seems to move so slowly sometimes, because you have a lot of infighting and deal making, and instead of just one king being like, nope, this is the way it's going to be, it's like, no, you have to get hundreds of people to agree for something to actually happen.
And that's politics. But Seth, thanks for coming on the show too, man.
No, you're welcome. And I'm
Yeah, it was
almost at work, so I'm just going to listen from now on. But thanks for
sure.
having me.
This was
Enjoyable.
awesome. Thanks, mate.
All right. Have a good one.
All right, that was Seth. That was a fantastic conversation. This is awesome to have, a guest on the Stephen Shields radio show. And this is fantastic. This is what makes the show really, enjoyable to talk to, amazing people on wisdom as well. But yeah, wow. That's what I was saying. There's different governments run the country different. We all have our political views, and sometimes we just got to take if politicians are making huge promises with a grain of salt at times until we see them deliver. But yeah, in Australia, I think government is very slow. With with roadworks going ahead. This has been going on for the last 4 years around my place. Still not done with this second airport in Badgerys Creek. That's been political football, if you've ever heard of this second airport, because Sydney's airport is too overpopulated. And it is. It is overpopulated. Bob Hawke even said that. Yeah, so anyone in the other side of the world who wants to know a bit about Australian politics, this is a great show, And if any amazing guest in the audience who's been inspired wants to get on stage or just say hi, this it would be an amazing opportunity for you before I close the room. And let me know what you think. If you're podcasting as well, or what your views are on world governments and climate change. I mean, Al Gore was always talking about climate change. I mean, he did a whole TED talk on climate change, and I mean, I think Al Gore. He was on South Park, with the whole man bear pig and Cartman eating the fake treasure. You should check that episode out. And Cartman thinks he's gonna, get rich by eating treasure, and Al Gore, man bear pig. That's funny. you know. But this is fantastic. Show today on wisdom. This podcast will go up. It'll be next Friday at 6 p.m. Sydney, Australia time. So whatever time that's in, just subscribe to the podcast, the Stephen Shields Radio Show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. So you get your notifications, so you can listen to your episodes straight away, and share any of your favorite episodes on your social media. It helps me get out there because I'm doing all my marketing the old-fashioned way, word of mouth, organic. So before I close the room, if there's anyone in the audience who would like to be on stage, you're most welcome to. If not, this was wonderful. I wish you a good morning to my United States listeners. I'm in Sydney, Australia, so I'm about to go to bed right now. Good afternoon to my European listeners. And yeah, I'm Stephen Shields from the Stephen Shields Radio Show. Goodbye for now.